Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to the garden. This video is very much one that is just full of updates. I'm sorry if the audio is a little bit off. I don't have my microphone with me and I'm doing this kind of on a break at my work because I've been so busy. First and foremost, I wanted to share that you guys that our memberships to join our channel are officially open. I'm not quite sure what the perks will be of this, of course, but I'm just kind of learning as I go, and we'll figure out what the membership levels and benefits are. So that's something, if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can definitely check that out. Of course, we are always on Patreon, much in that same kind of line of thinking. Here soon, I am going to be introducing a lot of new ebooks into the merch shelf of the channel. You know, the little shelf below the videos that says, check out their merch. There's going to be some ebooks there. I'm really excited. I've been working pretty hard on those. Most of those are going to be like $1. And of course, if you're like a member or you're on Patreon, you probably just get those automatically for free every time I release a new one. I want to keep things accessible. I don't want to be, I think information should be freely shared for the most part. And I think it's just a great way to go ahead and support the channel if you'd like to do so. I should note that all of the information in the ebooks and everything will be information that I've already shared here on the channel and here on my blog. So it's not necessarily that there's any information there that you haven't already heard or seen, but with the ebooks, I'm going to make sure that they are kind of laid out and articulated in a way that is just very organized and easy to understand. So it's kind of just, one go-to easy resource to understand specific topics. The first topic that I'm actually going to be releasing soon, hopefully, is one called Fall versus Winter. And basically it's telling the difference between planting hardy annuals in the fall versus winter sowing for the garden in the spring and summer. It seems the more questions I get about winter sowing and things like that, the more confusion there seems to be about it. It seems like a lot of you guys are kind of getting the two concepts confused. So I do have a video on the way as well as the ebook coming your way for that. Also on the channel, I am going to be doing a lot of giveaways here soon. Not a giveaway on this video, but it should be a giveaway on the next winter sowing video as well, so be on the lookout for that. If you can do me a favor as you're watching this, just leave a comment. It really, really, really helps with channel engagement. And if we can get to 100 comments on this video, that would be just so amazing. If you could help me out with that, I would be so, so appreciative. Now, without further ado, on to the video actually of the update. If you've been following along on Instagram and things, I've been really, really discouraged with the garden this year. As I've already mentioned, I've been working a lot, especially right now here at the end of December. Things are just crazy. I'm sure it's crazy for a lot of people. And in that, I haven't had the time to plant the garden. Usually by the time in October, I am usually finished planting the hardy annuals in the ground. I've got the Hoophouse up. I've got all the flower bulbs and everything in the ground as well. The flower bulbs were very, very late getting delivered this year. It rained a lot. The weather was really nice, fortunately, but I was so slow at getting my hardy annuals in the ground and everything. But I have made progress, and I have pretty much gotten everything into the ground. Looking at some of the seed trays from the hardy annuals that we started outdoors in October, you can see many of my transplants are very large. We have things like bachelor's buttons and scabiosa flowers and pansies and feverfew. I did have some snapdragons. Unfortunately, they died off for some reason. I'm not quite sure what happened with the snapdragons. I didn't get a good germination this year with them. Additionally, we have our scented stalks, which are doing well, as well as some ornamental cabbage. And of course, we have our flowering bulbs, like we have our anemone corms, which I will show you here in a second, as well as our ranunculus corms. In the past, I've always soaked my ranunculus corms and my anemone corms before planting them into the trays to get them to, kind of get a jump start on growing. However, this year, since I was in such a rush, I just planted the corms directly into the trays. Make sure I had a nice and moist potting mix. And I set the trays outside when the conditions were ideal. That's about, 50, 60 degrees during the day. and 40 to 50 degrees at night. Of course, that's Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I don't have the conversion. I'm going to work on starting to pop the conversion up in the bottom of the screen to make it more kind of friendly to everyone who's outside the US. But anyway, I didn't soak these at all, despite having been told that by everyone. And the growth rate of these was perfect. Every single corm and every anemone, ranunculus, every single one of them grew. Not a single one rotted. It could be a combination of the great weather we had, but something to note, and definitely something that I'm going to continue to do in the future, because I am not a big fan of introducing extra steps into my gardening process. So I was able to get all the ranunculus in the hoop house. You see the bigger ranunculus are ones that were started back in October. I was able to get them into the ground a little bit earlier because they came earlier. And these teeny tiny small ones, they've only been here about, I don't know, a week and a half. So they are starting to grow, but the growth is very slow, and hopefully they will catch up in terms of size as the winter weather progresses. We do have temperatures of about 19 Fahrenheit predicted this week, which I'm very, very worried about. I have my frost blankets. I need to get the plastic over the hoop house. That is my main priority. You're probably not going to see video of that until the next update video, but I have to get the plastic on the hoop house, and I have to get those frost blankets ready. I ran out of space for the ranunculus, so what had happened is I planted sweet peas down the middle, and the germination rate was really poor. So I went ahead and planted more ranunculus next to the sweet peas. It's going to be interesting if these sweet peas and ranunculus can coexist with each other. Outside of the hoop house, of course, I have completely finished planting all the tulips and the daffodils. And man, oh man, I did not realize how many I actually have in here. It is crazy. There are so many. Hopefully they will be beautiful, and we'll have a really nice display of spring flowers when the weather does finally warm up and the spring finally does get here. Also, I planted a lot of the biennial flowers outside of the hoop house. We have the Siberian wallflower. This is kind of a pastel mix Siberian wallflower, which I haven't grown before. I really love these because they're just so fragrant. They have such a beautiful scent. And in addition to that, we have some Sweet William dianthus, which are really, really awesome. These are the variety called Coral Sweet. So it should be interesting to see if we can get these to bloom. Of course, we're growing them as a biennial, so overwintering them, and they should bloom in the mid-spring. And of course, we have our Bells of Ireland, which we germinated back in so long ago, the end of September, when it was nice and warm. And the germination rate was actually great. We germinated them in warm and humid weather, and it was amazing. But it was so hard to keep them alive in the tray. They're finally in the ground. I think next season, if I am going to grow these again, of course, I'm just going to direct sow them. Also, direct sowing, I think stalks would be better to direct sow. I've transplanted my stalks. We had great germination with the stalks again. But it just seems like they struggle once I transplant them. It could be, related to the cold. I'm really going to focus on keeping the hoop house less humid and watching out for mold this year, because mold was a major issue that we had. Also, the Icelandic poppies. These were the Icelandic poppies that I started from seed, again, back in October. I had 2 packets of seed. I had 1 seed packet from Florit, which did not germinate. It did terrible. I had like 5 seedlings out of the entire packet. And I had another packet from GeoSeed that was labeled as primed, and the germination rate was incredible. Again, it was kind of hard to transplant these out. I left them in the cell trays way, way, way too long. Hopefully they will recover and rebound. I'm just really, really worried about everything getting acclimated to the winter weather here, especially with so much cold weather on the way and me neglecting them so much. Other things, feverfew, another kind of technically a perennial. I treat it as a hardy annual. I think it's hardy to zone 4 or something. I just planted that outside, just out and about. The pansies, I've managed to squeeze them real tightly into a little kind of space here in the hoop house, as well as things like calendula, a little bit of salvia, Just a hodgepodge of things going on, lots of experiments like some Gerbera daisies. It should be interesting to see if they make it over winter. But that's really about it. I hope that this video was so helpful. I'm so sorry that it's been so long since the last one. Hopefully I'll be able to take a little break here soon and get everything going, kind of get back in the grooves, back to normal. If you like this video, please be sure to share it. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, hit the like button. And like I said, leave a comment. It really, really makes a difference. It would really help me out. I'd really appreciate it. I'm doing my best to put out some good content. Lots of stuff coming in the spring that I'm really excited for. So we're just going to try to keep a good, upbeat outlook on this and just keep on going. So no big deal. I hope that you are doing extremely well. You are so appreciated. I really do mean it. Be sure to check out Patreon if you want. You can check out our wax melt shop. You can check out our kind of seed shop if you want, and our blog. All the links are down in the description below. There's all kinds of information about growing stuff down there, and we'd love to have you as a part of our little gardening community. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.